Welcome back to Kicks and Picks podcast. Nick and Scotty with you. Sorry, I'm looking at the Twitter here. Was just making sure that the tweet went live. So apologies for the delay there. Scotty, good week for us here. EPL champion, as you see on his tag, rocking the shirt here in solidarity. We had a good week. We were able to hang out in person, long overdue. I was up in New York for the weekend, so that was fun. We got Liverpool taking care of business, the Florida Panthers taking care of business. Coach Steve may join us a little bit later in the show. Everything's coming up aces right now, so I'm ready to win some money.
Yeah, it's the nervous part of my season is now done. Liverpool have virtually nothing left to play for. They've locked up the league. They've got 4 games left. They get 4 guards of honor. Would like to see them crack 90 points again this season. I think that'd give them their 4th or 5th season in the past decade with 90 plus points. So wouldn't mind that. That's 3 more wins. They got Chelsea, Arsenal, Crystal Palace, 1 more. So it's doable. But yeah, other than that, it's just getting to watch everybody else fight it out for these last few Champions League slots, and should be pretty interesting.
And you mentioned it, man. It's a dogfight right now. Nottingham Forest, what a disappointing result today. Disappointing month for them. They've lost 3 out of their last 4 to drop down to 6th place. So I'll just take you guys through it. Arsenal 2nd place, 67. Newcastle 3rd, 62. City 4th, 61. Chelsea, Forest, 5th and 6th, respectively, on 60 points. And then you got Villa right behind in 7th at 57. I hate to say it, but I'm about to put the stamp on it. Looks like Man City are going to get into the Champions League next year. I know we had a lot of hope for a long time that some of these other teams would play up. They'd take advantage of City's poor form, but City has turned it around just in time. And 9 losses, probably more than they've had the last 3 years put together in the league. They're going to get back into Champions League. So RIP, our hopes and dreams.
Yeah, I mean, remaining schedule this week, they're home to Wolves. Then they're at Southampton. That should be pretty easy. One of the worst Premier League teams in the last probably 5 or 6 seasons. Home to Bournemouth. With the way that Bournemouth has been kind of dipping in form, should be winnable. And then away to Fulham if it matters at that point. And frankly, I don't know that it will. It'd be kind of a miracle if the other teams keep pace. That'd be 9 points out of 9 just to stay within shouting distance. So yeah, I tend to agree. City will be in Champions League next year. Pep will be back for his final year in charge, hopefully, and we'll see what kind of business they do in the summer. Because yeah, you got to imagine that the pocketbooks are going to be opened for the blue team in Manchester.
No question. Another £300 million window incoming. So especially after, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say a summer of international games where, it's Club World Cup. I'm not necessarily going to call that an international tournament. None of these players that they'll be scouting are going to be in the Gold Cup, or very few. So
yeah,
I was going to say maybe they'll get hit with some inflated player prices, but probably not.
No, unlikely.
Yeah.
The only thing that might cause a little bit of inflated prices is the fact that I think there's gonna be like 2 or 3 clubs that are gonna be spending a lot. Like I think Liverpool will be spending a lot this summer. I think Chelsea are again in for another expensive summer. I could see United, now that they have a manager that they really want to back in Amorim, see them spending quite a bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if you have 2 or 3 of these clubs targeting similar players and driving up the wages, similar to we saw with Chelsea and Liverpool a few summers ago with Caicedo and Lavia.
And listen, don't forget Arsenal and Newcastle. These are 2 clubs on the cusp, and Arsenal still with a chance to do something this year. We'll talk about that in a little bit. They have no shortage of money to spend.
Yeah, Newcastle are a little hamstrung by financial fair play
until they make a few sales.
Yeah, they're gonna have to sell, right? That's the thing, and that players that they sell, depending on who it is, might be prime targets for some of these other clubs. So, stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll see. Should be an interesting one, but let's get into it. It's actually a really, really stacked week in EPL, so we're going to try to touch on most of these games here. Johnny, what's going on? Thank you for joining as always. First one up, Saturday morning, Villa at home to Fulham. Villa is minus 130 on the money line. Fulham plus 340, the draw at plus 280. And we mentioned it, Villa 3 points out of that 6th spot, 5th and 6th spot, 4 points behind City. They need points. They are at home. They're getting a minus 130 number. You're going to have to do an awful lot to talk me off of just backing Villa here on the money line. Other than I think I'm like 1 in 33 betting on games involving Fulham this year.
Yeah, Fulham have been brutal to nail down. The good news is Villa have been probably one of the better teams in the last 6 weeks in England. Have been playing really well. I think they've got 2 losses since beginning of February. So certainly turning up the heat, which has really put them back in play for a Champions League spot. You know, they had a little bit of a tough November, December period, but kind of saw them fall behind. But they've caught up to the pack, and they've been doing it with a really strong offense. You know, they went in January, they bought or brought in a couple guys to kind of shore up that front line, give Ollie Watkins some help. Rashford obviously being one of those, really looks a lot better playing for Villa than he was for his last 18 months playing for United. So certainly helpful there. I agree. I would take Villa money line at home. Fulham, for whatever it's worth, can show up and just turn things around or turn things on their head. I also like goals a lot in this one. So the question for me is, what's the right angle with the goals? The total itself is pretty tough, but both teams to score and over 2.5. I think that's playable. I'm pulling that up right now.
Yeah, an Aston Villa team total, man.
Plus one, even money. Yeah,
perfect. Villa team total is minus 135. So I mean, that's right there with the money line. It's the age-old debate that we have just about every week on this show. What's a safer bet and what's a better bet? 2 goals and you kind of have to stop sweating. So I don't mind that angle on it either, but you do take kind of that 1-0 win out of play.
Yeah. So I mean, again, I think we're pretty aligned. Villa money line for sure. If you like over 1.5, by all means, you can take that, or team total over 1.5. Both teams to score over 2.5 at even money, I think, is maybe my favorite pick out of this. I just hope that Fulham don't no show on this.
Right.
And honestly, like Villa, this team, like if you just wait for the starting lineups, like usually you'll get one guy that starts that is unexpected on the forward line. You can take him shot on target, get pretty good value on it.
Yeah, 100%. Asensio has been like a monster for shot on target props. Yep. So I mean, books, it looks like they're starting to catch up a little bit, but wait, see what that line looks like. I think there's going to be some value on somebody. So with you 100%.
Sure.
Next up, Arsenal taking on Bournemouth. Arsenal at home in this one. They are the favorites, plus 115. Bournemouth plus 235 away. No real mobility for either of these teams, right? I don't think Arsenal are in any danger of falling out of the top 5. Bournemouth can't really make a move up, but Arsenal do have something very important to play for the following week. So is this a spot where you think we could fade Arsenal? Bournemouth is plus 145. Draw no bet. I'm going to get their spread number here in a second. They are minus 110. Plus a quarter of a goal, and they're even minus 140 on the double chance. Do you think any of those numbers make sense for Bournemouth?
It's tough, man, because I loved watching Bournemouth for a good period of time between, December, January, right around that mid-season mark. They were so hot. Areola had them running, rampant through the league. They're causing everybody difficulty. Had some big wins. I think they beat Newcastle by like 3 or 4 goals, beat Forest by like 5-0. Like, dude, they were unbelievable. And then they've really kind of fallen off. They have just the one win since
like 8 games or
beginning
like
of
that?
March. Yeah, they beat since early March. Just the one win in 8 games. So hard to kind of back them on the road here. Arsenal, man, they looked so good for like 20 or 30 minutes against PSG on Tuesday, and I almost made me feel like they were actually going to get a result. Didn't quite come through for them, but in the form that they're in at home, I know there's really nothing on the line for them. I don't really love this Bournemouth team in the form that they're in. So, plus 115 is tempting.
That's the other way to look at it, right? Like you're getting Arsenal at home at a plus number. Doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, this is almost one that it feels very draw like to me. Plus 245 on the draw line wouldn't be terrible.
I can totally see it.
I don't know. Any other angles that we have on this? I don't trust any sort of offense in this game either, but who's to say with Bournemouth?
I mean, the question comes down to, you think Bournemouth could score a goal? If we think they're scoring, I kind of like them on the spread. I like both teams to score. It's a little chalky. It's like minus 140, minus 145
Yeah.
range, depending on your book. Um, but, I highly doubt Arsenal get shut out at home, even if they are rotating heavily. So, going to be a kind of wait and see match. I think you have to check lineups. You have to see what Arsenal's going into this game with. But if you believe Bournemouth could score a goal, I think there's a ton of value. Arsenal has to be looking ahead to the Champions League. There's no two ways about it. We had this same exercise 2 weeks ago, and I think we went like 5 for 5, fading the teams that had Champions League coming up. So no reason not to look at that angle for this game.
Yeah, that's fair. But I still think it'll be interesting to watch. I think Evan Nielsen will be out for Bournemouth, so that kind of hurts their forward line a little bit. I kind of ranted about him last week on the pod, how he's been letting me down with shot on target parlays, and then he goes and picks up a red card in whatever the 70th minute and blows the game against United, I think.
Yeah, brutal.
So we'll see. We'll see how they line up with their forwards. Semenyo is probably going to be the main guy, maybe Clouvier. So honestly, like an under in that. I'm kind of talking myself into it, weirdly enough, because like you said, Arsenal probably going to rotate, probably going to be playing a little more conservative. I could see this being like a 1-0, 2-0 game. Under 2.5 is minus 120.
Yeah,
I don't mind that.
Under 2.25, minus 145, even if you want a little extra protection on it.
Yeah,
not terrible. Fernando, what's up, brother? Thank you for joining us, man. All right. I mean, I think we got that one covered. Next up, Brighton at home to Newcastle. Newcastle plus 135 favorite on the road. Brighton plus 180. The draw plus 265.
Big spot for Newcastle.
A massive spot. I mean, disappointing. 2 weeks ago, who did they lose to? Where I can't even mentally get over the fact that they lost the game, because we thought they were going to be able to make a push here for second place.
They got smoked by Villa at Villa.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It's tough, but the form that Villa was in, 4-1.
4-1, yeah, okay. Yeah. And it was a three goal win there. So not really sure. And Brighton's kind of been in free fall. I know they picked up a win last week, but I think they've come back down to earth a little bit. I still believe they've had a very successful season. Danny Welbeck, I mean, good for him, man. He's kind of like resurrected his career. So fun to watch, but I just don't know what to make of this Newcastle side. It's kind of been the same the entire year for me. You don't know what you're going to get. This is a team that has 10 losses in the league. I mean, that's kind of a lot of losses for a team that's in third place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's who are we getting? Are we getting Newcastle or Newtrashel? That's kind of where we've been kind of talking about it in the chat. I'd say the one good sign for Newcastle is that this Brighton defense has been pretty poor. Last five games in a row, allowing at least 2 goals to their opponent in the Premier League. So lines up well for a Newcastle team that's going to need 3 points. Certainly where their strength is in their attack. Alexander Isak has been pretty consistent. I think he's basically been scoring every other game, or scoring or assisting every other game for them. So certainly a good opportunity for goals in that vein. Their team total over 1.5 minus 120. Yeah, I think that's probably my play in this one.
Yep.
Because like I said, Brighton, I haven't really been able to nail down too much this year, similar to Fulham. I usually fade them when they play well, and then once I start to buy into them, they drop a deuce, and they've been playing pretty poorly over the last 6-8 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to necessarily pick against them at home. I think Newcastle should get the 3 points, but if Brighton show up and manage to pick apart Newcastle's back line, which has happened here and there this season, I wouldn't be surprised. So I'll just take the over 1.5 team total.
No, I dig it. That's kind of what I was leaning towards. Minus 120, I think, is a really strong number for Newcastle to grab too. Fernando here, don't overthink it. Newcastle plus 135 is a really strong number for a third place team, right? I feel like that's going to be a theme for us as we go through all of these games here. There's a lot of don't overthink it. Let's just, we know who these teams are for the most part. Let's see what we can squeeze out of them, but that's a good one for me. I'm trying to look here. The books have caught on. Sandro Tonali, man, he was getting shot on target numbers in like the plus 400 range the last couple of weeks. And now he's plus 210. So Don't know that I'll be playing it. He is averaging a shot on target, I think, every other game. So still something to look at, but I don't think we're going to play it this week.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Another shot in the dark player prop that you might want to watch out for. Harvey Barnes, assist plus 475. He's been playing decent past couple weeks. So if he stays hot, feeds Esoc, it's not a bad number for a little shot in the dark play.
Yeah, I dig that. Anytime you're giving me plus 400 or better on any player prop, I'm automatically interested. So, in a worthwhile player.
If you can make sense of it.
Yes. Sorry. Denzel Dumfries to score 2 against Barcelona. If anybody had that one, probably plus 20,000. The next one up, man. Brentford at home to Man United. Brentford, another team that, they've been, I think they are having a successful season, but they're kind of just the run of the mill, score as much as they concede, win as much as they lose. They've been kind of hot lately. We've talked about United enough. United are winless in what, 7 or 8 games?
Yeah, they're
terrible.
The
Premier League, but they're like about to win a European competition, and that's driving me nuts.
It's driving a lot of people nuts.
And that's making me wonder, like, am I really going to come into this game, take the 14th place team in the Premier League away from home? Why am I considering them at like plus 390 on the money line?
You shouldn't, because outside of Europe, United have been terrible. I can't think of like a single stretch where they've put together 3 good games in a row all season long. They don't do anything really well offensively or defensively. It's just they've been a complete mess and circus they've been a complete circus for years now. I mean, it's just not something that Amorim is going to be able to turn around quickly, I don't think. And Brentford, coach was out here telling us he liked Forest at home, plus number on the money line today. Brentford came out, took care of business, got a clean sheet, scored a pair of goals. Like, really can't ask for much more from an away side. So, I think the only thing that works against them, or would work against them, is the fact that it's kind of a quick turnaround, but United are doing the same thing. So, United played today, so they're kind of even on that. So, I don't know. I mean, my gut just tells me everything points to another Brentford win. Minus 155 on the money line isn't really playable, though. And honestly, like, if we even look at team props, what's their over 1.5 is minus 165. There's not much here. So I don't know. If
you're gonna Man United on the spread, that would be the only way to play this game. And I don't, again, like, let's watch out for recency bias, because they looked good today against who they even play.
United Athletic Club.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a solid win, I think.
I mean, you had Harry Maguire playing out on the wing, putting the left back on ice skates and getting a cross into the box. So maybe on paper, but it didn't look too great on the pitch.
Fair enough. I don't know. Just for as bad as United have been, I don't know that they should be a plus 400 on the money line. That's all I'm trying to say.
Honestly, I might just go with like a both teams to score no on this. It's plus 115.
Okay.
Brentford put up 2 today. Probably should score at home, but crazy things have happened. United not scoring would be very, within realm here. And yeah, going back, let's see, last 6 games, that's hit 3 out of the 6 times, plus 115. Right. So
I dig it. You've convinced me. I was really trying to come on and see if anybody had any positive things to say about United, but no, I can't try anymore.
It's funny too, like when you bet these games now, like the books have it pinned. You got to get creative there. If you really want to bet a United game, you have to try to find like a weird angle. So good luck to all who are participating in this one.
If anybody's on United, man, let us know. Show us your bet. Show us your ticket. Let's talk about United Light, Tottenham. They're away to West Ham, plus 205. West Ham favorites. Maybe the first time we're saying that all season, plus 125.
Yeah.
I guess Tottenham have a tougher situation in the return leg because they did give up a goal, so they're only up 3-1 on aggregate. I guess Bodo is okay. I don't know, but another team that I don't know, like this game couldn't mean less. I mean, I don't know, like West Ham could pass Tottenham in the standings maybe. Is that good for something? I'm finding it really hard to find anything I like, but I kind of lean Tottenham draw no bet plus 125.
Man, I'm almost going the other way, and this is certainly a recency bias because when Liverpool, they didn't even show up to Liverpool. Let's be honest. They scored the opening goal, which was kind of like a mini gut check time for Liverpool, and then they came out and scored 5 unanswered. And probably, honestly, should have had 8, but they were just dicking around for the rest of the second half, trying to get Salah a goal, trying to get Harvey Elliott a goal, trying to get whoever comes into the pitch a goal. And so this Tottenham team. Look, I would almost consider taking a West Ham over 2.5 team total because this Tottenham team is so bad.
Oh man,
I mean, over 1.5 is minus 130. That's playable.
It doesn't make. When has West Ham scored 3 goals in a game?
When they play Tottenham.
There you go.
Let's see, Tottenham. In Premier League. Let's go back. I'm going to go back a couple games.
Well,
we'll ignore the European teams.
Hedge, we got you here, Hedgie. We just talked about United. What's your bet for them this week? They're plus 400 on the money line, man. You backing your squad? Wait, first you got to congratulate Scotty. Well done.
Yeah, he did, as he should. While he responds, 5 of the last 8, Tottenham have conceded 2 or more goals. Of the 3 where they didn't, it's Southampton, Chelsea, and nope, just kidding. 5 of the last 7. Chelsea and Southampton are the 2 that haven't done it. So
okay, well,
I'll happily take West Ham.
West Ham are on par with those 2 teams, or better?
Certainly better than Southampton. Chelsea, who knows? They're an enigma, but.
Man, when was the last time West Ham won a game? It's just so okay. You know what? I'm trying to talk myself out of West Ham instead of doing the responsible thing and agreeing with you and with telling everybody the advice I always tell them in a situation like this. These odds don't make sense. West Ham should never really be a favorite to anyone, but they're favorites. So maybe we just follow the odds.
Yeah, I mean, this could very easily be like a 2-2, 3-2 game. And who knows who gets the 3rd goal for their team. But when has the Spurs team ever been good defensively and kept,
No.
It's just even like I just talked about the last 7 games. I'm talking like season long, right? No. That's just not how they play under Ange. So, I'll happily take West Ham getting 2 at home at minus 130. It's very playable. And again, recency bias. Liverpool put up 5, could have had 8. I don't think this Tottenham team really has their head in the game in the Premier League right now.
More than fair. Checked out. They got one sole focus going forward. Over 2.5 team total plus 240. Just saying.
Yeah.
Crazier shit.
I mean, looking at goal scorer props too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the first 4 players in the shortest odds are all West Ham players. You got to get to Richarlison as the first Tottenham player, which doesn't even make sense. It should be Solanke at plus 235. Who honestly, if you want a player prop. Solanke plus 235 scored against Liverpool. He was a 20-goal scorer for Bournemouth. Got hurt.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, his entire season got derailed.
Seems like he's healthy-ish now.
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
No, I'm kind of with you. Speaking of, let's move on to your boys here. Taking on Chelsea. Chelsea gripping onto that 5th spot ahead of Forest. Don't look now. Chelsea kind of look maybe a little bit okay. I don't know.
You sound so convinced.
No, but I mean, they're on a decent run of form. They're in 5th place. I mean, I know I haven't had really anything good to say about them. They're a little bit of a disaster, but they are in 5th place. Plus 120 at home. Do you think I think they need 3. I don't know if they're going to get it, but what's Pool's strategy coming into this game?
I don't know how
finish the season strong? Are they looking to get Salah goals and assists so he can chase a record? Or are they looking to rotate and get some of the younger guys and some of the bench players some minutes?
Definitely not. Like I said, they have nothing left. There's no Champions League. There's no FA Cup. They're virtually on vacation. So maybe that's the angle here. It's like, hey, they're basically checked out. But with all that said, they've lost 2 games in England all season long. Sitting there at plus 130, draw no bet. I don't know how I pass that up, even as a Liverpool homer.
No,
knowing that when I bet on my team, they always lose.
Getting Liverpool at plus 215 on a money line.
So, I'm not going to say that their offense has been cured. Offensive issues been cured with that 5-goal outburst against Spurs. I think that was just like a bunch of contributing factors all coming into play. But, you know, Chelsea's, again, not exactly like the most robust of defense. And I don't know. I can see them getting a couple goals against a Chelsea team that is prone to slip ups all season long.
Plus 115, 2 goals from Liverpool.
Plus 215?
Plus 115 for 2 goals.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's crazy. Yeah. I wouldn't hate that either. Salah, I think, is gonna get something, right? Like he's definitely shooting for a 30-20 season, which he's very close to doing. So he'll get something. I don't know. Do you really want to bet on this Chelsea team to score 3?
I haven't wanted to bet on the Chelsea team all year. I don't think I'm going to start now.
No. So my preference, draw no bet plus 130. I'm happily taking that. I don't need to overthink it. Do I think there's gonna be a lot of goals in this? Maybe. I could see like worst case 2-2 for a Liverpool perspective, but I don't think Chelsea are getting 3.
More than fair. Liverpool plus a quarter minus 115. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just saying.
I'm keeping it simple. Maybe that's smarter,
like
but
myself out.
Yeah, dude, over 3.5 at plus 135. I mean, what's the 3 at? Is that playable?
Minus 120.
Yeah, I mean that's playable.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind that either.
Yeah, check it out. So yeah, it's just interesting to see. Like I said, how Poole approaches the game, who's going to start, and what Chelsea are going to do. They need points, but they're also on short rest, and they're also. Well, I think they won pretty handily today, right? They won like 4-1, so I don't think they're in jeopardy with their next tie. But
also, I don't think Chelsea have beaten Liverpool in like years. I think they've gotten like close with some of the finals, EFL and FA Cup. Excuse me, but like the draws are like their biggest results. Otherwise, I think Liverpool have pretty much owned them since COVID.
No doubt. And last one up, we got Crystal Palace at home to Nottingham Forest. Palace. Outside shot maybe to finish in the top half.
Yeah.
If they do the thing. And then we got Forest, man, who's, like we said, probably the most disappointing month of any team. They're an underdog here. They're underdog away. Plus 205 and Palace is plus 135. You know as well as I do that I never get Crystal Palace right. This year has not been any different.
Correct.
But I'm thinking these odds are telling a story that we should just read. And I don't really like Forest in this game. I just think they've been too bad.
No, I mean, I agree. You got to give a huge hat tip to Palace in the way that they're able to just continuously develop offensive talent. They lose Elise to Bayern, who's having a great season by all measures. Thought that was going to be a huge step back for them, but turns out it's not. They're still churning out, players in attack that can score and create, amazing goals. Etse has been playing really well. Mateta's been pretty strong and consistent. So credit to them. This Forest team, when they were rolling, was rolling because they had a great defense. I think they had the best defense in the league for a long period of time. That is no longer the case. They are dropped back considerably. They now are averaging over a goal a game allowed. So, yeah, I mean, Palace at home at plus 135, definitely super playable. Again, it's another game where I might just be willing to take a team total with Palace over 1.5 being plus 115. So, I'm on Palace both ways here. I think, again, Forest played today, 4 days rest. I guess 5 days. This is a Monday game, right? So, or is it Sunday? 4?
Monday
Something
game.
like that. Palace have been resting all week, so they'll be ready to go.
At home.
At home. So I'll take them either way. Give me money line, give me over 1.5 team total, or both.
I'm with you there, man. I can't back Forest. I can't tell anybody to back Forest. I would love to see them bounce back and win, but I have to see it actually before they get any money the rest of the season. Yeah. Just where I'm at. Yeah, so loaded slate this week. A lot of good games. Should be some good ones. I think we've pretty much covered it. I do want to take a quick pause to shout ourselves out with our Champions League, the results that came in this week. Let's just, quickly talk about the games. PSG 1-0 win, scored early, absorbed a lot of pressure. Donnarumma had an awesome game.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
And we gave out PSG at plus 1,600. And then our other bet was Inter, I believe, at plus 1,800. I have to look at the slip. I have to go back at the episode. It was either plus 1,800 or plus 2,000. And they had a 3-3 thriller with Barcelona, a
Yeah.
game where, I mean, it's tough for me to say that any team plays well when you give up 3 goals, but a game that I would almost say Inter deserved to win.
Yeah, almost. I will say I don't think you could say any team deserves to win when they concede 3 goals. Either way. You concede 3 goals, you can't be hard pressed. I get that, Inter had a very, very tight offsides and air quote call go against them. And that's maybe where you feel a little more hard done. But, at the end of the day, you had a 2-goal lead and then it evaporated within 20 minutes. You couldn't even get to halftime with a lead. You score 2 goals in the first 20 minutes, you can't get to halftime with a lead. So deserved deserved equal footing for both teams here. But yeah, I mean, this is a game that we were wrong. We were so wrong from the jump on this in the group chat that we were able to kind of like fade ourselves quickly enough to like make money off of how wrong we were.
We hit 2 live bets very, very easily. A halftime live score and, I think like 2 minutes after the second half, I put in over 5.5 goals, and that hit by like the 70th minute. So,
yeah.
I mean, made up for it anyway.
Went into this fully expecting it to be low scoring, thinking Inter would be very happy to just kind of keep things close and come back to San Siro with a very winnable result. Was not the case. Came out hot, and I think that really just the fact that Inter scored the opening goal really set the tone for everything. It gave them a little bit of confidence to come out and play a little bit more open style game than we traditionally see them doing in Serie A. And then Barcelona had a little bit of urgency. They kind of wanted to come in, control the game, maybe rack up a couple goals, and then have a nice lead going into Italy, but not the case. So quickly was wrong in that. Was able to pivot. Saw once that the field kind of tilt towards Inter's goal and Barcelona start dominating play. I was like, yeah, this is going to be a 2-2 game at halftime. So we nailed that one. We nailed a live total over 3.5 for plus money. Almost had Barcelona draw no bet. I thought I had them at plus money. Thought they were going to get a winner by the end of it, but still great game overall. I mean, some really great goals too, right? Thuram with his back heel flick to open things in the first minute was crazy.
Dumfries fucking bicycle kick.
Lamine Yamal, fucking nasty little curler. Just great goals all around. And Rafinha almost had a couple screamers too. So well played to both teams. Very excited to see how this turns around in Italy.
Listen, is it unfair to expect another 3-3? Yeah, but I think Inter are going to have to go in knowing that they can't sit back and, hope for a 1-2 goal game. It's just not going to be the way. You have to come at Barca. You have to attack them. You have to hit your counters. They did it successfully, but like you said, a couple worldy goals got them the 3. You're going to need a lot more out of your forward line, just in terms of build-up play and hold-up play. So let's see what happens. But if Inter were to make it to the final, I mean, we're looking, we've given out Champions League future the past 2 years successfully. We're looking to make it year 3. I don't think we could be in a better spot necessarily than we are right now. We have a chance for both of our tickets to make it to the final. So let's hope for that.
Shout out my pessimism, because we locked in the plus 1600 after Liverpool barely squeezed out a 1-0 win in Paris, and it looked like PSG should have had 5. And I was quick to say, listen, if they beat Liverpool in this, which they very well can, they're going to have a very clear path to the final at the very least. And kind of nailed that. So
yeah, and listen, shout out Arsenal, I guess, because they played well. I don't want to take anything away from them. I'm certainly not rooting for them. Of all the teams left, I'd like Arsenal the least, but they certainly have a fighting chance in that next leg. So let's see what happens. But let's segue over to Italy. I'll quickly give out the standings. A lot of games are a little whack this week, some mismatches, so we'll only go through the key ones here. But what everybody needs to know is Inter have dropped 2 games in a row in Serie A. We mentioned Scotty was the first to say it. I came on the following week and said, hey, listen, there's a very real possibility they do not get even 3 points out of their next 2 games. They wound up getting 0. They lost to Bologna. They lost to Roma. So they are now in second place. Napoli on the heels of 3 straight wins, 74 points, 3 ahead of them. Atalanta can't seem to get out of their own way. It's almost like they want to give up a top 4 spot, but I don't think anybody else necessarily wants it. They're in third with 65. Juve now up to fourth and 62. Bologna dropped down to 61. Roma, Lazio, Fiorentina 60, 60, 59 respectively. Milan won a game, so good for them. They're in ninth.
Yeah. It's a participation trophy for them. Top half of the table. Good job.
Yeah. They are doing better than Manchester United and Tottenham, if that
is true.
Anything.
That is fair. They did do that.
So,
man, dude, Napoli, I just had to look out of curiosity because we did give out Napoli plus 250 when I was on, plus 200 when you were on the week later. They're now minus 450. It's crazy. Like, that's not done and dusted, but pretty much all done and dusted.
McTominay, Scotty, I'll allow you to apologize if you feel that it's right for you to do so. McTominay with goals in 3 straight games, bro, is absolutely carrying with the lack of like any other offense coming out of anybody on Napoli. Obviously not his job. He plays well in the midfield, but this dude has shown up when it matters. I know we got Leg in the chat who is a believer as well. So Leg, shout out us. And Scotty will give him a chance to apologize.
Do you want me to put my Napoli hater hat back on again?
You can.
I'll do it.
You can do whatever you need to do. You need to say who you feel is right.
Who did McTominay score against? What were the teams?
I don't know. I have the
was it Torino, Monza, and Empoli by any chance?
Yes.
Okay. I rest my case.
It's got 11 goals this year, man. As a midfielder, I mean, it's pretty good.
How many of those goals came against teams in the top half of the table?
I'd have to look. I don't know.
He's a much like our boy Lukaku. He might be a bottom half of the country / table merchant.
Oh, there's no doubt. Wait, also just shout out him really quickly. Lukaku somehow leads the league in assists.
Wow, I mean,
like
if you get rid of Kvara, might as well.
Excuse me, I was told Rafael Leao is the greatest footballer on the planet. Why doesn't he lead the league in assists?
I thought his assist was his biggest flaw in his game. I thought he was a ball hog.
Shooting is.
I don't know. I have to revisit Martino's timeline. I feel like he gets a lot of these he has to deal with a lot of these comments. I feel a lot of them are he doesn't
listen to our good friend Martino. His XA numbers are off the chart. It's loser forwards cannot finish everything Leao gives them on a silver platter. That is Martino's take. So
the only metric that is somehow more fugazi than XA.
That's a fact. So let's get into the 2 big games this weekend. Just quickly for knowledge, Napoli are away to Lecce. They're minus 200 favorites. Inter are at home to Hellas Verona. They're minus 300 favorites. So really not much happening there. Leg coming in clutch with the stat, 3 goals against the top 6 for Sauce. Thank you. Yes, all game winners. He had a game winner 2 weeks ago. Scotty, conveniently left that out. Win's a win. We have battle of top 4, 4 and 5 here. Bologna is at home to Juve. As a reminder, Juve is 1 point ahead in 4th. Bologna plus 145. Juve plus 195. Draw plus 195. The drawiest draw game if I ever saw one in my life. I don't even know that I want to talk about this game other than it could very likely be a draw. But do you think Bologna are the deserved favorites here at home? Do you like them to bounce back? Or do you think Juve have found enough form under their new coach to get a result here?
Yeah, certainly not that.
Good.
Juve on the road haven't gotten a win in almost a month.
Love to hear it.
So I think that's really where this is going. If they are getting anything out of this game, it's going to be because of a draw. That's the way that I see it. So I think Bologna definitely a deserved favorite in this one. Don't know that I'm taking them on the money line. The draw no bet at minus 140 fucking sucks. It's just out of reach in terms of being playable. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, draw sitting there at plus 195 makes sense because that's really where this feels like it's going.
Both teams to score minus 105. I just think that's insanely right there. 1-1. Right, this has 1-1 written all over it.
Yeah, well, I mean, who's scoring for Juve?
Damn, you stumped me.
Because that's what you always say to me. That's why.
Somebody's got to score, I think.
Gonna go Kolo Muani? No.
Maybe. I don't know. He hasn't scored since his second game.
So
I don't think. Who scored? I'm trying to think who scored for them last week. Let's see if we can look something smart up here.
I'm going to see who
Bologna, man, very, very disappointing.
yeah.
0-0 draw to Udinese.
Locatelli scored against Roma. That's who it was.
Nico Gonzalez and Colomwani scored last game.
Okay. So Colomwani would be your hope here.
I guess.
Unless you really want to. I mean, you talked me off of Locatelli, I think, shot on target the other day. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that means you're not a Locatelli believer.
He's had a very, very, very good year for Juventus. I'm not a fan of his, but he's been very good for them. So I really have nothing negative to say. I think he fits in well kind of in this Tudor system of being just like a true midfielder, not having to carry any offensive load or burden. I don't know. I think they get on the score sheet, man. I think this is a both teams to score match for me. -105. I think the number's just too good.
All right. That's fair. It's not out yet. I'd like to take Orsolini goal or assist because he's anytime goal scorer is +230, I think. I just had it. Plus 290, excuse me. So I feel like goal or assist probably going to get a nice plus
150.
Maybe, I was going to say might be closer to +200 than that, +175. He only has, 4 or 5 assists this season?
Yeah, not that many. Yeah, it's
so, but I'd still want it just in case gives a nice little tap into somebody. So, I don't know. That feels like a decent play for me. Otherwise, I don't know. I really wish if that number, draw no bet for Bologna, comes closer to -130, I'll hop all over it. I might even live bet it. I don't expect this to be a blazing first half. So
that's
I can
fair.
See that being a play.
And listen, if anybody's not a believer in both teams to score, no goal scorer is +700. Just saying.
So you're saying 0-0.
So I just recently learned this, and I think I was listening to Stoppage Time, and great podcast if anybody hasn't listened to it. And if you take no goal scorer, if there's an own goal, you still win that bet.
Oh,
if it's like a 1-0, but the goal was an own goal, there's technically not a goal scorer. So it's like a better bet theoretically to take than like a 0-0 correct score or an under half or anything like that. So
yeah. Shout out Leg +170 Orsolini goal or assist. I'm 100% locking.
There you go. Leg. Will you be taking it? If you tell us right now you'll be taking it, then we're going to make it our play of the week.
I'll speak for Leg. He's taking it. If he did the legwork, pardon the pun, to give us the odds on that, it means he was intrigued by it enough to be willing to take it.
All right. Like we're holding you to it.
No, he's saying no. Well, too late. Like,
well,
I've already committed you to it. So you're in.
Juve. Okay, gross. So you like terrorism? Okay, we got it. We understand. Looking at Leg a whole lot differently than I was 5 minutes ago. It's fine. Man, we got AC Milan at Genoa -135. AC Milan. That's
ninth place. AC Milan.
Yeah, I don't know. The Genoa stinks too. Don't want to talk about it. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Both teams to stink, both teams score, but that's probably like -200. Both teams to score. Is that right?
Yeah. So next one up with big implications here is Roma at home to Fiorentina. Again, Roma is exactly 1 point ahead of Fiorentina. So big game. Roma -155. Fiorentina +400. Draws +270. I have to imagine these odds are based on Roma's current form.
For sure.
And it's based on the fact that Fiorentina are in the Conference League. They're actually trailing. They do have to, they stay at home, which is good. So they won't have to necessarily travel, but they do have, it's a short turnaround between games. So that's why I have to imagine they're +400, +290, draw no bet. But I kind of, and this is not any anti-Roma shit because I backed Roma the last, I think 3 weeks on the show. I backed them to beat Inter and they did. I think Fiorentina +1 at -140 is really, really intriguing.
It is. I'll make it even more intriguing for you. Roma haven't beat Fiorentina in the last 2 years. It's been a while. Got smoked in the opening or the first leg of this matchup this season, 5-1. Then a couple draws, then a loss again to Fiorentina 2-1 at Fiorentina. So not exactly Roma's favorite opponent by any measure. Fair enough on what Fiorentina have going on outside of this game, and obviously Roma's form. But yeah, I think Fiorentina on the spread is a good play here for sure.
And I'm looking too, dude. I don't believe he's hurt. I have to imagine he's starting. Moise Kean, who is the second leading goal scorer in Serie A, is sitting at plus 330 to get a goal. I don't know. Like, that's just kind of right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Roma's defense has definitely been strong, so I guess that's really where the books are looking at this. Like Roma, I mean, what's the team total for Fiorentina? I'm guessing over 1.5 is probably a big number. Plus 280, yeah, unbelievable. Dude, honestly, like both teams, if you like Moise Kean in this, both teams to score, then it has to be.
We're getting late breaking news here. It did not start today. Thank you, Drew.
Honestly, I don't mind both teams to score at minus 110, with or without Moise Kean. Is that a bold statement?
No, I think Fiorentina get in the score sheet. I really do. And that's why I like them at plus 1.
Yeah. Okay. I like both teams to score then at minus 110. I think that's where I'm going to put my eggs, the basket I'm putting all my eggs in.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And I just think for as good as Roma have been, just this spread is way too large.
Mm-hmm.
Even after all the circumstances we just talked about, it just doesn't make sense. Anytime we've seen something like this, if it doesn't pass the smell test, if you came in and told me Roma were like plus 130 and Fiorentina was like minus 300, I'd kind of buy it and I'd probably be on Roma, but the spread is just too far away. So yeah. I'm with you. Both teams to score. Fiorentina plus 1. Moise Kean, if healthy, plus 330. Silly number.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Ooh, no. I thought I liked a shot on target play, but it's minus 130. If you're doing a shot on target parlay, Goodwinson is minus 130. So I don't mind that.
Yeah, I imagine he has to be starting then.
Yeah.
Man, I'm just making sure we're not missing any other big game here. Think we got it.
All right.
Wrap it up there. Guys, shout out. Thank you all for being in the chat. Thank you guys for listening. Hit us with a like, with a subscribe. Hit the retweet button. Good luck on your bets this weekend. Definitely next week, root for Inter and PSG.
Yes, please. We need it.
And we will be with you guys next week. Thanks again.